What's up, marketers? A few months ago, I launched a video titled 4 Reasons Why You Shouldn't Become a Media Buyer. So today I wanted to take a note on the positive side and talk about the 5 reasons why I love being a media buyer. Number 1 is that the industry has primarily gone remote, and very seldom do I see agencies or even brands hiring media buyers that require them to work in person. This is awesome for someone like me who really loves to travel and really enjoys working remotely. Actually, my first role that I had as a full-time media buyer, it was with a fully remote company before the pandemic, and I was able to travel all throughout Latin America for several months while still working full-time and advancing my career. Because this industry is primarily remote, it's also opened me up to working with way more brands and agencies than I ever would have thought possible before. I actually started working for Thesis when I was living in Mexico, which is pretty cool. And number 2 is probably my most favorite thing, which is that the job is always changing. When I first started buying ads on Facebook and being a media buyer, a lot of what I was doing boiled down to the targeting or to the optimizations that I was making. In 2022, however, my role has become a lot more about creative. In fact, I don't even really consider myself a media buyer anymore. I'm more of like a principal creative director since I oversee 3 different creative teams at Thesis. With that said, a lot of what I do still involves me jumping into ad accounts, making optimizations time to time, but so much of those optimizations are really about the types of creatives that we're using and the way that we're testing those creatives and the learnings that we're getting from those creatives. Additionally, I just always find that there's new problems and new challenges to attack when you're in this field. And there's always a new brand or a new product or a new platform to discover. Like when I first started running Facebook ads, I never would have thought that creative would have been such a massive driver in performance and that like a platform like TikTok would emerge in a few years. It really just blows my mind how much change happens in our industry, and it really does make the 9 to 5 aspect of waking up and like doing a job and going to work, it actually just makes it a lot of fun because it's never the same 2 days in a row. The third thing that I really like is that being a media buyer is really a balance between data and creativity, especially now. And I find that it's really interesting when I'm meeting other media buyers, and I can kind of tell if they're more leaning towards being the analytic, reporting, optimization type of media buyer, or if they're more like a creative strategist type of media buyer. And I think that there is room and there is a genuine need for both types of media buyers out there. I just think it's really one of the only jobs in the world where you get to balance really unique and interesting data. Like we literally have a direct line to some of the most powerful platforms on the internet, and we're able to get really actionable insights and data from that. It's really amazing. And the fact that we're also able to be creative and test out different hooks and different types of creatives and see what people are actually reacting to and buying to, there's a lot of power in that. And I think it's just really unique, and it's something that I still enjoy quite a bit. Not necessarily the power, but there's just like so much information and insights that you can gather from it. And yeah, it is a really powerful tool. And number 4 is really about the relationships that I've been able to make as a media buyer and as someone that puts out content about media buying and about creative. Honestly, the people that I've been able to meet in real life and the experiences that I've had with them, it blows my mind that all of this was possible because of my initial career as a media buyer. We really do work in a fascinating industry with tons of interesting and powerful people. And the fact that I can just at them on Twitter or slide into their DMs and start a conversation, or that they're sometimes reaching out to me, is just really mind-boggling. And really some of the best relationships that I've been able to develop over the last 5 years, just in general in my life, has been in some way tied to this D2C e-com media buying industry. It's really amazing, and it's truly one of my most favorite things about being a media buyer. And number 5 is that the pay, especially right now for media buyers, is incredibly high. Frankly, it's a media buyer's market. If you are talented, it is super competitive to hire people right now. So it's really the media buyer's choice. And I'm seeing media buyers going to agencies or even in-house at a brand and making well into 6 figures, even if they've only been a media buyer for the last 3 to 4 years. I think that this is really one of the only industries that you can teach yourself, enter at a relatively low cost, and advance your own net worth and pay over a series of few years. It's really incredible, to be honest. And I would say that the more you invest in your relationships and the more that you invest in your craft with this type of thing, you could be easily making multiple 6 figures, maybe working in-house at an agency, working with a brand, and having a few freelance clients. Really, the sky is the limit for how much money you can make as a media buyer or someone who can speak to creative and analytics in the sense of like D2C e-com. My first full-time role as a media buyer, I was paid about 60 or 65K per year. I'd say that for this exact same role in 2022, media buyers are getting paid anywhere from like 80 to 90K per year in the US. I know it's a lot different if you're not living in the US, but even for people that are contracted with an American agency, I still see them making like 75K or more per year as a media buyer located in Latin America, located in Asia. There is just really so much opportunity for everyone all over the world to come into this industry. And I think that actually this industry has been really welcoming of people that aren't necessarily American based, which I think is really awesome. So I don't know. I'd say that this industry does a good job for rewarding people for good work. And that's it. Be sure to let me know in the comments below what your favorite part about being a media buyer is, especially if I didn't list it here. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.